Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Murder in the Family. Episode 3. We have a nice, good story for you guys today. How have you been?
I'm good. How have you been?
Good, tired, working. And anything new with you?
The ceiling fan in my bedroom fell, like literally into my hands.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was kind of like a scene from a 90s comedy house.
Was
I
there was there a laugh track behind you when it happened?
it's I don't know. Yeah, so I'm short and I can't reach the string to pull to turn my fan on unless I stand on my bed. And so I stood on my bed to pull the fan to turn it on. And by the way, it's late. Like, us, we're in bed at like 8:30 p.m. in my house.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it was a school night and we're all awake and it's like 9:30. Hannah is like scared. She's wanting to like sleep with us, but she's hot. So she's like, Mommy, turn on the fan. And I was like, sure, fine. Chad, like, okay, so I go to turn the fan on, I pull, and it literally falls in my hand. It's extremely heavy, and I'm holding it up over my head, and it's attached to wires,
Oh no.
so I can't let go of it. Chad is in the shower. So I'm like, oh, Hannah immediately just like sobs. The house is falling on us. It's collapsing. We are fine. It's the fan fell. Like we're fine. The house is fine. It's not. So I'm like, go get Harrison. Like, go get Harrison. Tell him to come here. He comes and I'm like, well, what's Harrison gonna do? I'm like, okay, calmly tell your dad what's happening. Like, knock on the bathroom door. He does. He does it calmly. Chad did not take it calmly. He was running, wrapped in a towel, but he had no underwear on. What am I? And I'm like, well, why didn't you get dressed? You knew what was happening. Meanwhile, I'm still standing there holding this thing over my head so the wires don't rip out. And it was a fiasco. It was not good. It wasn't good. Anna's laying on the floor crying. It wasn't that great.
I wish I could have been there that way.
So you could stand in the corner and laugh and not
Yeah. Uh-huh. No, I would have helped.
have.
No, so this last weekend I put pavers in because we're surrounded by dirt. So I put pavers in that way the dirt's covered up and everything. And my fingers hurt from like gripping the pavers and like trying to put them in and set them in right, you know?
Yeah.
So like my fingers hurt. I'm so out of shape.
You and me both. I was like, Harrison, switch out with me. I can't hold it and have body food. That's why we're both
Oh,
working out. So it's all right.
yeah, yeah. I think this is my third week or second week working out, so
Good job.
I'm I'm trying to stay on it. I want to stop, but I keep telling myself don't.
But aren't like my inspirational little predetermined little comments on your exercise, aren't those keeping you going?
Yes, it makes me feel better. I think the one that you sent me today was what was it?
With the sling.
It was you got this locked or something like that.
And I think another one's like Slade.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Some of them are mean. Have you noticed that? Like the ones that pop up, like the auto-generated ones.
No, only like two or three of them pop up for me.
Okay, next time you look, occasionally, like when you scroll, I'm like, gosh, that's kind of rude. Like that's not encouraging at all. Kind of mean.
It just says you suck.
I think it was like shocked or like something. I'm like, that's not kind. It's not encouraging. So should we get started?
Yes, let's get started. What do you have for us today?
All right,
You
yeah.
are the
Sure.
you are the storyteller today.
I'm a storyteller today. All right. Well, I am going to remember to cite my sources today for once, and will continually. So my sources are the Encyclopedia of Alabama, an article found there, Murderous Minds, a an audio documentary, which like I was like, isn't that a podcast? But it actually is not. And I don't necessarily recommend them. But anyway, that's tangent. And then the other source is Killer Psyche with Candace DeLong. And that is a documentary, an actual one. No, that's a podcast, an actual one. So anyway, our story starts, or maybe it kind of ends. I'm kind of starting at the end. Our story, it is October 12th, 1954, and a man named Samuel Doss has just died suddenly in his home. His doctor is very concerned because Samuel just recently returned home from a month-long stay in the hospital, recovering from what the doctor thought was a severe digestive tract infection. And he
Ooh.
was completely healthy and had just returned home. His doctor thinks that this is odd and is immediately suspicious. So he goes to his wife, Nancy Doss, and says, I really need to do an autopsy. And she's hesitant. And he says, look, I need to know what killed him. This could help other people. You would, you'd be deemed a hero if we could find out. I need to find out. We need to do this. She
Yeah.
she reluctantly agrees. And when they do the autopsy, what they find in his stomach was enough arsenic to kill a horse.
Oh, that's a lot.
It's a lot. So this will lead to the exhumation of many bodies of multiple family members, and the police will eventually determine that our murderer probably killed around 12 family members.
Oh,
This is,
I'm getting I'm getting real Cary Grant, arsenic and old lace vibes here.
oh, I was going to ask if you've seen that. Okay. So, yes, keep that in mind. This is the story of Nanny Doss, the Giggling Granny.
Oh.
Is what she's known as, the Giggling Granny. Um, so she was born, before we go back and go through all of what she did, let's go ahead and get to know Nanny a little bit. And also Nanny, I have a picture. I don't know if it'll show well. Um, it was shocking to hear about what she did. She literally looked like a 1950s grandmother. Um, let's see if that's her.
She looks so nice.
She looks just like a grandma. Um, and it she got a lot of sympathy because of that, because of her looks.
Really?
She did. So, but let's get into it. We'll give a little backstory here. Nancy Hazel was born in 1905 in Alabama. Um, she just even before she was born, she was set up for failure. Her mother got pregnant out of wedlock and for reasons unknown would not say who the father was. This is back in 1905. Being unmarried and pregnant was a huge thing, a huge no-no. She was disowned. They kicked her out. She would not, she would not give the name of the father. Shortly after Nancy is born, a man proposes, a Mr. Hazel, which is where she got her maiden name. Um, and he marries her mother and basically says he'll raise her as his own, or some people speculate he actually is the biological father. It's not really clear. Anyway, turns out he's not a good guy. He
Oh,
is abusive, an alcoholic. He is extremely strict. He's a poor farmer. Um, he he basically doesn't really let them go to school because he needs them to work on the farm. Um, he only lets them go occasionally, which causes them to fall behind. She's one of five children, by the way. I keep saying them, but I forgot to mention she's one of five children.
is she the oldest or
I believe she's like in the middle, if I remember right.
okay.
I believe she's in the middle. I think she's like the third daughter. I could be wrong. But she does have younger siblings, I know for a fact because of what comes next. But she doesn't get to go to school often, which makes her fall behind. She's poor, so she has poor clothes. She's abused. She goes to school and gets bullied because she's poor and because she's behind, which is not great. And then an incident happens when I believe she's 7 years old. She's on the train with her family, and a tree has fallen across the tracks. So the train has to stop quickly and unexpectedly. She falls forward and hits her head on the metal seat in front of her.
Oh,
And so here's the thing. She will later on, once she's caught, blame her behavior on this incident. And that, I mean, and this is 1950s, so I don't even know if that's like a, now we say like, oh, they hit their head, they were never the same, they had this brain injury, or I don't know how well known that is back then. But as
I doubt that it was well known back then.
I don't think it was, but she blames this incident because she says she changed after that day. However, there's no, as far as my research went, there's no proof that she even blacked out or anything. Definitely a bad concussion. She said that she then had a lot of headaches for the rest of her life, and had issues from that day. Her father being poor and not wanting to lose work didn't even let her go to the doctor to get checked out. Um,
They were just like, just don't sleep for a couple hours.
Sick.
Stay awake.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, she blames this incident on her murders, basically. But something does happen after this incident. She does kind of have a personality change in that she starts mimicking her father's behavior and she starts actually abusing her siblings, and being cruel to them. Another thing that her father is very strict with his daughters. I believe it was like three girls, two boys, or maybe four girls, two boys. With the girls, he's very strict. He doesn't let them dress nice. He doesn't let them wear makeup. He doesn't let them go to dances. He doesn't, and he claims it's all because he doesn't want bad men to like molest them. But unfortunately, they are molested, and I believe it's by family members,
Oh, geez.
her and her sister. So like that didn't work. But he's very strict. Her life is very sad and she's not happy. She does eventually learn to read, even though she can't go to school. Her mom kind of helps in that area, and she begins to become obsessed with her mom's romance magazines. And she starts reading romance novels. And I think because she is so unhappy and her life at home is so hard, um, she
She's trying to find an escape.
correct. She's trying to find an escape, and she actually is now obsessed with finding her own true love. And
Okay.
when she's 16 in 1921, she goes to work in a linen factory And she quickly meets this boy named Charlie Braggs. She's 16, I think he's 17, maybe 18, and they fall in love. Her dad actually approves of him, and actually encourages them to get married quick. Also, remember he's a poor farmer. So if she gets married, she's out of his house and it's one less mouth to feed.
Yeah.
So I think there's kind of that. So they actually do end up getting married, and after they get married, um, poor Nanny, so Nancy, her name's Nancy, but she's fondly called Nanny. So Nanny finds out that she will not just be living with her new husband, but with his mother. And it's like she traded one abusive father for now this very controlling, domineering, attention-seeking mother-in-law. Um, the mother-in-law is actually very jealous of the affection her son is showing his new wife, and I guess like will pretend to be sick to get more attention. She makes Nanny do all the housework. Also, she rules the roost. No more romance novels because she looks at it as though she's cheating. It's akin to cheating on her
Oh,
if she's reading these romance novels. Uh,
that's that would be so hard to be in a marriage and to live with their parent that is controlling.
Also, she's 16.
Yeah, yeah. That,
The
that
50s,
is
but I feel like that's young even for the 50s. I don't know, but I guess this is the South in the 50s. Maybe it's a little different. Maybe, I don't know. So anyway, this marriage quickly goes bad. They end up having four daughters. Poor Nanny births, which I say poor Nanny because like she's not a murderer yet at this part in my life. So I feel like I'm allowed to say poor Nanny here. I won't be saying poor Nanny in the future. Has four daughters in 4 years.
she was just constantly pregnant for 4 years.
Yes.
That's that seems like a lot.
Yep, she has daughters, a whole lot. She has daughters Malvina, Gertrude, Zelmer, and Florine. And she is stressed. She starts drinking. She starts cheating. Her husband starts cheating. They're all stressed out. The mother-in-law is awful. It has just turned into like this nightmare.
It's just a bad environment all around.
Super bad environment for everybody involved. While her husband's cheating, he's kind of leaves town and comes back into town. I don't know if he blames it on work or if it's just known that he's cheating. But he tends to leave town a lot and be gone for a couple days. Well, um, he leaves town, and while he's out of town, two of his children die within short succession of each other after eating breakfast. The doctor says that it's food poisoning, that they died from food poisoning. I didn't know a person could die from food poisoning, but I guess,
I was literally just gonna say something about that. I was like, can you even die from food poisoning?
yeah, I maybe back then you could. I mean, did the FDA like exist back then? I don't know if like did I don't know. Maybe you could because the doctor declared it that it was never seen as questionable. And when the two middle children die, she's like kind of eating up the attention she's getting from it.
Okay.
So Charlie, so some of the research I did, it said that like he just had a bad feeling that it was her, and so he left. But another one said that he got an anonymous tip saying, "Hey, don't eat anything she makes you to eat." And so what he does in 1928, he takes Malvina, the oldest daughter, and takes off, leaves her there. with the baby, Florine, and his mother. Like just leaves them,
He's just like,
just left them both.
peace out.
Yeah, like peace out. Yeah. So in 1929, no, sorry, 1928, he returns with Malvina and a woman and this woman's son. He has found love somewhere else. I believe his mother died. It sounds like on her own, unless I'm mixing that up, but I think that's what happened. Anyway, he comes back and he's like, "Hey, I have this other woman. We're getting a divorce now. Here's your daughter."
Melvina?
Yeah, gives Melvina back to her. And she takes her two girls, Melvina and Florine, and moves back in with her parents and gets a job at a cotton mill, I believe. So this is 1929 now. She meets a man at this job now, and his name was Frank Harrelson. Well, they get married, and it's bad from the start. He's an abusive alcoholic like her father. Yeah. However, they stay married for 16 years. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I should have mentioned this. So, Charlie Braggs, the husband that like either got the bad feeling or got an anonymous tip, he
Uh,
is the only husband that Nanny will have that will survive his marriage to her. So, some
it's
for
probably because he took off.
it is, and that's the only reason he took off and then he divorced her. And he is the only one that will survive out of all of her husbands. So
Oh,
anyway, back to husband number two. They are married. He's abusive. He's an alcoholic. They were married for 16 years. Not a great marriage, but it's life. And then in 1943, Melvina, her daughter, has a baby. His name's Robert. 2 years later, in 1945, Malvina has another baby. Only this baby, the birth is not going well. She is laboring hard. She calls for her mom. Her mom goes in like a good mother, is, wiping her brow, and she has a baby girl. Um, I don't know if you know anything about giving childbirth back in like the 40s and the 50s. Women were like sedated, I believe, during this time. Like they would use ether to kind of not,
ether?
yeah, um, and like to kind of put them in this haze or this, yeah.
So they weren't going through the pain and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how exactly it worked, but I've read several like books about like adoption and things and like mothers having babies back during that time that were forced to give up babies for adoption and like that's something they used. Well, she once Malvina is like all herself again and not like under the effects of the ether, she tells her husband because sadly her baby girl dies in the hospital. And at first it's thought that this was a really hard birth. So, she had been pushing too long. It took too long to have the baby. That's, complications. And back then they didn't know as much as they do now. Babies.
Yeah,
But she tells her husband, Malvina does, I had this awful nightmare that my mother took her hairpin and shoved it into the baby's brain, like into the baby's head. And her sister, Florine, and her husband both say, "Well, your mother did have a hairpin, but we did see her with a hairpin." So there's speculation there. This is why they say 11 or 12 murders because it is thought that she did kill the baby. Um,
that's so crazy.
it is. So anyway, Malvina and her husband, having a baby that passes away is a lot on a marriage. They're not doing so hot. I believe they end up separating. Malvina starts dating this soldier, and her and her mom get into a fight about it because her mom's not about it. Her mom's upset about it. She goes to visit her dad, Malvina does, so Charlie, the husband that got away, and she leaves her 2-year-old son, Robert, remember that first baby she had, with her mom. While she's gone, Robert dies. He's 2.
If she already had speculated and she already had felt weird about her baby,
You would think, but also she was under the influence of the ether. She thought it was a nightmare and not what she actually saw.
true,
Uh,
true.
she was a child when her siblings died. There was no question. So anyway, Robert dies at the age of 2. He dies of asphyxia, and it is not brought into question. No autopsy's done. Um, Nanny collected a $500 life insurance on baby Robert. No idea how much that is today. I'm sure it's a lot of money.
Oh, I'm sure it's a lot. Back in 1940 something,
Right. Yeah. It's
$500 was
33 or
the
45. Sorry.
does it say I'm assuming Nanny's the one that took the life insurance out on him.
Yes, she's the one who collected it. Like
Yeah, okay.
in her name.
It
Yep.
was in her name.
Yes. So then the next victim, a few months later, so that was in July of 1945. So then September of 1945, her husband Frank is out celebrating the end of World War II with his pals. He's at a bar. Of course, he's getting drunk because he's an alcoholic, and we know that. Well, he comes home and he violently rapes Nanny. They've been married for 16 years. That was it for her. The next day, she laces his moonshine with rat poison. He drinks it and he dies. Because it was moonshine, um, no one is scared that this is murder. The doctor is actually more concerned that this is some bad moonshine. And who else has this moonshine that
Oh,
might die? So again, it brushed under the rug. Nanny's never suspected. So then we're moving on to the next husband. She starts searching the Lonely Hearts column in the newspaper. And this is where she finds her third husband. His name is Arlie Lanning. He is in North Carolina. She writes him racy letters and sends photos of herself. And they end up getting married. She moves to North Carolina to be with him. That's where he's at. So she moves to North Carolina, and wouldn't you know it, Nanny has a type. He is an alcoholic and a womanizer. So, during this time, so my research is a little unclear. Like a few articles I read had some kind of contradictory things. Um, One of them said that during her marriage to Arlie, she goes to visit her sister Dovie. But another one said it was after Arlie died. I'm not quite sure when in the timeline she actually goes to visit. But the thing is, Dovie is sick. Um, Most of the research I did, it just said she was sick and bedridden. But one of them said it was probably cancer. Um,
okay.
but within days of of Nanny being there, Dovie dies.
Of course.
So Dovie dies in 1950. Um, so then in 1952, Arlie, her husband, his mother comes to live with them and she dies. Yeah. So, and there's this thing where she feeds people things, right? We do know the moonshine, but she fed Arlie's mom, I believe it was like stewed prunes or prune pie, something like that. And she dies, making it all look, but she makes it look natural. It's like she's old. And then later on, same year in February, Arlie dies.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I believe it looks like it's a heart attack because of how much he drank and things. So when he dies, she thinks, well, I get the house. His sister gets the house.
Oh,
His will is set up where his sister gets the house. Well, shortly after he dies and his sister inherits the house burns down. Random, right?
yeah, very, very, you know,
And one of the articles that I was researching said, and this is from that article, like she just somehow had left with her TV that she loved because now she was watching romance shows, like soap opera type things. Uh,
very coincidental, right?
and guess who collected on the insurance money?
Nanny.
Nanny. That's right. Nanny got the insurance. So Nanny still ended up with the insurance.
Does it say how much she got from that one?
No, nowhere did it talk about how much she got from any other money. Just the 500 from Robert when baby Robert died. Um, so then she goes back to the Lonely Hearts column, only she's a little older now, so she does the Diamond Circle Club. It's like Lonely Hearts, but for, you know, upper middle age, or I guess back then old, right? And she meets Richard Morton, who lives in Kansas. He's not an alcoholic. He is a womanizer. And they both kind of leave, like they are cheating on each other and leaving each other. And while they're together, her father dies. So guess who comes to live with them? Her.
The mother.
Yep. And guess who dies within days of moving in from
Mom.
bad stomach pains?
Mom does.
Yep, her mom dies in January of 1953. Then, shortly after that, in May of 1953, Morton dies. Yeah.
It's so hard to get a read on this lady. I don't know if it's she's just lonely or if she just likes to kill people.
Yeah, well, it's almost like she got obsessed with that romance, right? And so she was picturing this knight in shining armor, this Prince Charming, and then she'd marry this type. And you have to wonder, like, people say you marry your mother or you marry your father. Did she just keep marrying her father? And like, you know what I mean? Um,
Also, though, back in the 40s and 50s and stuff, that wasn't very uncommon for people to be drinking and stuff and also a very dominating males around that time
they're
because that's the way they were raised.
right. And it's almost like they treated their women the same way they treated their wives, the same way they treated their children. Like they were in charge. They were, and in fact, that's what happens next. So Morton dies now, and she meets a new man. His name is Samuel Doss. This is the man we started with, the one who died, who had spent a month recovering in the hospital. He lives in Oklahoma, and she moves to Oklahoma to be with him. He's actually a good man. He's not an alcoholic. He's not a womanizer. He's not cheating. He's a good guy. However, he is a devout Christian who has some very strict beliefs. He doesn't want her reading romance novels because they're not bettering her. He wants her to read things that like better her life and like so he's like um you can't read your romance novels. You can't he wouldn't like let her spend money. They got into fights because he was very controlling. So she actually like leaves him instead of killing him. She leaves him, but there's a reason. Um, her name is not on his bank account.
Ah.
So she leaves him, and I'm sure him being a devout Christian, this is just an assumption. He's probably like, I can't get a divorce. Please come back. And so he agrees, like, I'm going to put your name on my bank account. Please come back. And she said, well, that's not good enough. I want you to take out two life insurance policies on yourself and make me the beneficiary of both.
This is like this is like the 1950s version of Gold Digger.
Yeah, it is. But he agrees. So he agrees, he does this, she comes back, and that is when she feeds him a prune cake. So, and that's how he ends up in the hospital, is that she put arsenic in the prune cake and he didn't die. He spent a month recovering.
So she didn't put enough or something, or
He put enough or he didn't eat enough, or I also read one article that said he didn't really like prunes, and so he didn't really enjoy prune cake, so he didn't eat enough of it. And so he just got really sick. Um, yeah, so when he gets home, she's like, well, oh, one of the husbands, the previous husband, I forgot to mention, she killed him by putting um arsenic in his coffee. So she's like, well, it worked last time, I'll just do that. And she put arsenic in his coffee and that killed him. So that's how he died. When she was caught, at first she would not admit that she killed anyone but her husband's. She said she never killed any of her blood kin, is what she said. But they exhumed bodies and found arsenic in like her sister's body, her mother's body, I think in baby Robert's body. And
oh no,
later she claimed that she didn't mean to kill Robert, that he had accidentally eaten cookies laced with arsenic that weren't for him.
they're meant for someone
Then,
else.
I was gonna say, but then who are they for? Maybe
Yeah.
mother-in-law. I don't know.
So
Um,
I have a quick question.
yeah,
So am I to assume, I mean, I don't know much about it, is arsenic like odorless and tasteless?
I think it's bitter, isn't it? I feel like it's bitter. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I think it does have a flavor, but so the dish that she used, like if you notice,
Prune
prunes was the always the food. It was either a prune pie, a prune cake, stewed prunes. That's the meal she fed them.
and coffee also being bitter.
Right. And moonshine, I mean, it's moonshine. So
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's like drinking gasoline. So, so I think it does have a flavor that's bad, but she just used these things to mask that flavor.
Makes sense why she would pick those foods and those drinks. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because who eats prune cake and stewed prunes? Like, I don't think that was a common meal back then. I mean, maybe obviously probably more common than now, but I don't think that was like everybody's favorite back
I
in.
don't think I I don't think I've ever even had a prune.
You've never had a prune?
No, not even prune juice.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's not super common, but so anyway, when they arrested her and they tried to get her to talk, like I said, she kind of she wouldn't admit she killed her family right away. But once she finally did start talking and they were like, dude, we know it's you. Like too many people have died in your life.
They're like everyone you come in contact dies.
Right, so many people. She finally did start talking about it and she would laugh. she would laugh while discussing the murders, and that's how she got the name the Giggling Granny. Um, so Oklahoma was the place where her final husband died and where she was caught, that doctor. So she was charged and convicted. She was found guilty, but I think it was like four other states, Alabama, where else did she live? It was like Alabama, North Carolina, um, I'm drawing a blank on the other states that like her other husbands lived in. But like
Yeah.
three or four other states that charged her for murder as well. But she only stood trial in Oklahoma because she was actually found guilty and sentenced to death by electric chair.
Whoa.
Yeah. However, 2 years later, because she's awaiting, no one ever dies right away when there's
Yeah, they
a
get put on death row and
yeah. 2 years later, a judge actually declares her insane and then says that he instead changes it to a life sentence. And he says that it wouldn't be good precedence to make her the very first woman to be killed in Oklahoma, like with the death penalty, and especially not a mentally disturbed person because he felt she was actually mentally disturbed. Um,
what?
so probably because she giggled when talking about, and
Yeah,
it said that when she was in prison, when she would talk about the deaths and the murders, she would joke about it. Yeah. She ended up dying in prison in her 50s. I think she was like 59. She actually died of leukemia.
oh, well, she got what was coming to her.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the story of the giggling granny.
That is super, super crazy. That definitely 100% gave me vibes of Arsenic and Old Lace.
I was kind of surprised you had seen that.
Yeah,
So,
you're the one that showed it. You're the one that showed me that movie years ago.
and it's so funny because I thought of the movie and I was like, oh, I need to ask him if he's ever seen it. I showed it to him. I liked to show you a lot of those old movies when you were little.
Yeah. Father Goose.
Father Goose, Houseboat.
Yeah,
I
Houseboat, yeah.
had a thing for Cary Grant. What can I say? And then I showed Belinda and Faith, I showed them all the Audrey Hepburn movies. Fair Lady and Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I think you showed me Tiffany Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Did I? I probably did.
Yeah.
It was a place I went to.
That was a really, really, really good story.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. It was long, sorry, but she killed so many people and it was so hard
I
to keep
know.
straight and like the years that they died and like they were all related. So it was like when and so many husbands and mothers, like her mother-in-law. Yeah.
This just goes to show like 40s and 50s people were just like, "Oh, she's just unfortunate," you know.
Yeah, I mean, and I also think part of it was, especially back then, they didn't suspect women of doing things like that. They didn't suspect
Hmm.
women of murder. So a lot of things went under the table, and especially murder of children, you know.
Yeah.
Her first two murders were her own two daughters, and that was not expected. Um, Something I learned, so when you hear of poisoner, what do you think of? Like when you picture the murderer, the poisoner?
I,
Usually people say a woman. That's a woman's
yeah, well,
like
I
a
mean if you go based off of historically, you know, usually men are the one that gets, down and dirty with it, I guess, with the more personal and so yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, like a woman would do that. Yeah.
it's like that's something I thought it was true that women are the poisoners and that's like a woman's MO. But while doing my research, an FBI agent said statistically that's inaccurate, that it's still men, that
Really?
more men poison than women. And get this, so if the victim is a woman, so far in history, 100% of the time, it has been a man that is the murderer. Uh,
Whoa, that's crazy.
if it is a male victim, it's still just 50-50. 50% of the time, the murderer is a man, 50% of the time, the murderer is a woman.
That's
So
crazy.
y'all are still the crazy murderer.
Yeah.
Although Nanny was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and to be giggling about it and laughing about it.
Yeah.
Maybe she was insane.
I mean, maybe, but I feel like to have like brain damage, you'd be knocked unconscious and you'd be like, I don't know that like just a bad concussion could do that. I feel like it was her upbringing.
I mean, I could see it both ways, only because there have been a couple of serial killers, even within the 70s and stuff like that. When they were younger, they had head trauma, and that they said that they had changed
Was it like
because.
significant head trauma, like or like concussion or
So I mean, I don't know how true this is, but I had read something, and I this was so long ago that I don't remember where it was from, but Richard Ramirez was one of them, and
okay.
it said that when he was younger, he was swinging on a swing and had fallen off the swing, and when the swing came back, it hit him in the back of the head, knocking him unconscious.
So there's someone from our childhood who was on a swing and hit their head and completely changed also. I won't say names, I'll tell you later, but like they completely changed and started acting completely different and got into drugs, got into like some crime, got in and it was that same thing actually. They were on the swing and they fell off and hit their head or like the swing like twisted and they hit the pole, you know,
Oh, geez.
next to the like yeah.
And the same thing is said about John Wayne Gacy as well. That's the same thing that happened to him.
Okay. So maybe, yeah, I mean, it could be.
So
And she didn't start
basically,
using her siblings,
what I'm hearing is don't swing on swings.
right?
Because
Chris, you become a murderer. I don't know. But yeah.
yeah, that was good. I like that one. That one was good.
Okay. I was so worried, like, I'd be like the giggling granny, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, I've heard of her. This is not
No, I've never heard of her. That's
okay.
what caught me off guard.
Cool. Because that's my goal is to like pick people you haven't heard of, but you both of us have watched so many documentaries and read
Yes.
things. So I'm like, oh, so awesome. Glad it was interesting. Crazy though,
Yes.
killed so many people.
I know. That's so crazy. Well,
Think that's it for this
I
one.
think that is it. Yeah. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Murder in the Family. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube and Spotify to watch all our latest videos and everything. Click that like button, give us a thumbs up, and hit the bell. That way you are reminded when we post new videos. And we will have more content coming out, so be prepared.
And we have an email. So if there is a story you want us to do or a question you have, or if you did different research than us and want to add to our story, feed us more information, that'd be great. And our email is murderinthefamily@gmail.com. So easy to remember.
And you can also message us and DM us on Instagram as well. So,
Yep, sounds good. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks, right?
yes.
Every other Wednesday.
Yes. Can't wait. That'll be my story.
Yes, Joey's next. I'm excited. Bye, guys.
Bye.